Welcome to the War on Wellness. I am your host, Penny, Plant Based Penny, and I am going to welcome in our I'm going to welcome in our Instagram family because today we are talking about it. Those darn food cravings and how to break the crave. Today is part 2 of the series that we're doing on those darn food cravings. And sometimes, it can trip us up. They can trip us up, me included in the us, okay? And so I am sharing with you and so you should share with your friends and your relatives, those that you care about. You share because you care, and let them know that Plant Based Penny is here live on all of her platforms. I am going to double check. I see I am on Facebook, and I see that I am on Instagram. Yay! Hey, Instagram, so nice to see you. And I am also on YouTube. Yes, okay, good. We are cooking with oil today. Oil. We're cooking with avocado oil. Okay, so if you missed the first broadcast or the first in our series of these broadcasts, we are talking about those darn food cravings and detoxing our diet. And it's especially important that we do so. So, however, if you missed episode 1, it is on my YouTube channel, which is Plant Based Penny. Somebody put YouTube in the comments because I'm going to make sure I post a link for the YouTube channel in the comments. So in case you missed it, you can just click on that link. And the channel is Plant Based Penny. So we're going to talk about, in the first series, we talked about the science behind the irresistible urges that we have for certain types of food. And we're going to talk about today the practical tips that we can use to help kick the processed foods to the curb and embrace a healthier you. All right. So I'm going to say hello. Say hello. Give me a waving hand. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you're listening, that you're out there. And so I do see you joining me here in my Facebook group. Thank you very much. And yes, okay, I have, people on my Facebook group page. Let me go there really quick. So you do need to give StreamYard your permission to show me your name there. So thank you very much for doing that, those who join afterwards. And I want to thank those who are joining over on Instagram. We have Corey, Tanya, Lisa, Pam, Janice. Yes, wonderful, wonderful. Come on in the room. Happy to see you, that you are here. Okay, very good. We got Joe. Good to see you, brother. Is in the room in the Facebook group. Wonderful. Thank you for posting the YouTube in the chat. Thank you for posting the hellos. Great. Wonderful. So I did have a poll that I posted in my group. Don't look now, but I want you to guess what percentage of people do you think said that they craved sweet? So the poll was, do you prefer salty or sweet? Are you salty or sweet? And so what percentage do you think? 10%, 50%, 80%? What number do you think that people put as of the last time that I checked? What percentage do you think that they put in the chat? And while you put your percentages there, I am going to share with you a message from our sponsor, Plant Based Penny. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming back with me here in the War on Wellness. I am Penny, your host, Plant Based Penny to some, and I am here to help you move from problems to progress. So, after I spent 34 years leading in corporate America, I was led to move abroad where I embraced and immersed myself in plants as medicine and plant based remedies. And so, returning back to the United States, putting together all of my corporate experience, my education, and my holistic education to help serve you and help people look, live, and feel well. And so today I'm excited about the series that we're doing, and it is those darn cravings. And today is part two, where we're talking about breaking the crave. We're going to break the crave. That's what we're doing in part two. And so I asked a question before I went to commercial break, and that was, what percentage do you think, at least of people in my group, Janice, what percentage of people do you think crave salty over sweet? What percentage do you think? And so I see that we have 60%. 60%, great guess. And someone else is saying 100%, and 40%. Very good, very good. All very good guesses indeed for that. And actually, I was one of the ones who actually, I didn't vote, but I actually also was a major craver of the sweet. So well, okay, I'll give you the answer first. It is 100%, 100 of the people in the group said that they prefer or they crave the sweet over the salty. And I mean, that's fine. Sometimes people switch from one or the other, but that's why we're going to talk about practical tips today to help you on your journey. So, the one thing that I want to start with, the kind of level set, is that detoxing your diet is not an overnight overhaul. If anybody tells you that, boom, in 12 hours, I can help you just completely reset and everything is going to be overhauled, that's not true. There are plenty of people out here who mislead people, which is really unfortunate, but that's kind of the society that we live in. But it is important to make gradual, sustainable changes. Gradual, sustainable changes. You will find that there are a lot of people, and I was one of those at one point in my life, who lost weight quickly, or who started this diet or this fad really quickly, and then what happened? People, what did they do? They gained the weight back, and and when it comes back, it's usually greater than a greater amount than you lost originally. So that's why it's important to make gradual, sustainable changes. Find that one thing that you can do and do that and do it well, and then do something else, and then kind of build on it, build on it. Little becomes much, right? And so you want to do sustainable changes and do gradual swaps. So tip number one is gradual swaps. Gradual swaps. So if you're taking notes, make sure that you write down the gradual swaps as tip number one. So let's dig a little bit deeper into that. So we want to start by gradually replacing the processed snacks. So processed snacks are those the things that there's a whole aisle of them at the grocery store. Actually, there's two aisles. One aisle of the grocery store is like chips and what is the other thing on the aisle? Chips and something else. I think it might be chips on both sides. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But it's chips and something else is on that aisle in the grocery store. Somebody tell me in the comments what that is, because I can't remember it at the moment. And in the next aisle, you'll have, candies, all kinds of candies and crackers, sweetened crackers. So you have whole aisles in the grocery store that are dedicated to your food craving. And so instead of a bag of chips, then you want to substitute an alternative that is whole and nutrient rich. And so, for instance, for me, what I had to do, because I also had the salty craving, is I had to move from a bag of chip to popcorn. And was that popcorn, in order for it to be nutrient rich, needs to be or should be air popped or popped in a healthy oil. I know my dad used to pop popcorn for all of us. It was four kids at the time, and he would shake it in the pot on the stove. Has anybody popped their own popcorn? Put popcorn in the chat if you pop your own popcorn. Now, hey, I am not talking about popping popcorn in the microwave. No, that is not what I'm talking about. I am talking about popping your own popcorn where you control the oil, or you control if it's air popped, or you control it the amount of salt if you use salt or seasonings that you may use on the popcorn. So put popcorn in the chat if you pop your own popcorn. Another option you can do is you can trade the candy for sweet berries. So that may be blueberries or goji berries or whatever it might be for you, or it may be raisins or something like that, cranberries. So trading the sweet snack food for a nutrient rich alternatives, and there are many changes, but these small changes are going to add up over time, because what you're doing is establishing a habit of wellness. And so we want to be plant forward, and we want to make good choices so our bodies can be good to us. The small changes over time really do add up. So think of it kind of like a snack makeover. You see people do all kinds of makeup, makeover shows on TV and on the worldwide social media, where people are doing makeup, or they're changing houses or rooms and all that. And so we're doing a snack makeover here at Plant Based Penny's War on Wellness. Snack makeover is what we're doing. So by making these substitutions, you're not only reducing your intake of addictive additives, which we talked about last week, but you're also providing your body with essential nutrients. And those essential nutrients are going to help you crave the sweet or salty, or whatever it might be, less. The less and less you crave, the less and less you will eat those foods that are guilty of addiction. So I'm just going to double check over here. I am looking at some of the responses and some of the answers. Okay, I want to say hello to those of you watching. So hello to Sonia, hello to Angie, hello to SJ Daniel, hello Keisha Ricks, who's watching. All of you, thanks for watching over in the Plant-Based Penny group. You can say hello back. Look forward to all that we have in store for you today. So we're talking about those darn food cravings and how to break the crave. Okay. So tip number 2 is we're going to embrace variety. Embrace variety. Eat the rainbow is what people say. So the key to a successful detox is introducing a variety of whole, nutrient-rich foods into our diet. So because I think that one of the things that happens, I know with clients that I've talked to over the years and people that have been in my groups, my detox group over the years, is that in the past for them, they have tried to detox, but they have been doing the one thing, the lemon diet or whatever that diet was. And so they were sticking with the one, there's a cupcake diet, there's all kinds of one source type of food diet. And we know, first of all, diets don't even work. But anyway, but when we try to limit ourselves, then we feel constricted and restricted. And our brain is saying, give us free, give us free. And then we eat everything when we go off of that plan. And then we're right back or worse than where we started. Can I get an amen in the chat? All right. So we want to have a variety in our diet. So that's going to help with being successful. So unfortunately, did you know that a diverse diet has been scientifically proven to enhance the gut health and support our overall well-being? A diverse diet, because then we get a plethora, a variety of nutrients, and those good nutritions, those good bacteria, they build on each other, and that helps to sustain our body and all of the systems in our body that help us look, live, and feel well. So diversity in diet is not only satisfies our taste buds, but it also ensures that you're getting a wide variety of the vitamins and the minerals that our bodies need. And it's so very essential because, the thing about it is, for me, one of the things that helped me change, what helped catapult me on my journey, was I got tired of being sick. I mean, I got tired of taking medicine. I got tired of going to doctors. I got tired of doing co-payments. I got tired of doing MRIs and all those different tests and blood work. I really got tired of spending my hard-earned money on my medical bills, and I would prefer to spend it on myself and something that I wanted to do. Okay. And so for me, Pam, that was one of the things that helped me change. And I got tired of getting more and more diagnoses of something negative happening in my homeostasis of my body. And so we're going to make practical tips, and that's what I had to do. I had to be gradual about it. I had to be sustainable about it. And so it's like if I make a dish, I try to make it colorful. I try to add different vegetables of different colors. I mean, when I make a simple salad, it's going to have at least 5 to 10 ingredients in that salad. It is not just lettuce, people. We do not eat rabbit food. I mean, if I'm making a dish that I'm cooking, I have all different kinds of colors of peppers, different colors of onions, different colors of grains, and different types, just to keep entertaining my palate. So we want to load our plates down with vegetables. And I mentioned I was in New York actually last week in Yonkers, and I went out to a restaurant. I can't remember the name of it was, but we went to a restaurant there, and they did not have, um, they didn't have a vegan dish on the menu. So fortunately, there was a chef and not just a cook in the kitchen, and they prepared a beautiful dish. And it was, just a pasta as the base, but he loaded up the top of that dish with all kinds of beautiful seasoned, not with butter, seasoned vegetables. And it just made a beautiful presentation. And the fact that he did that at my request, and made it attractive, made my food look just as good as everybody else's who was at the table. Isn't that right, Yvette? Hello, Valerie. How are you all? So it's very important that we make changes, that we make gradual changes and changes that are sustainable. So tip number 3, and we are talking about series, which is the food cravings, those darn food cravings, and breaking the crave. We call it break the chains. We can call it break the cycle. We call it break the crave. Whatever it is, we're gonna break it, okay? And we're not just gonna bend it. We're gonna break it so we can put a little separation in there, so we're not just crawling back over the bridge. So that's why we want to make these sustainable changes. All right. So we're going to move to tip number 3. Tip number 3 for you tonight. And I have an exciting announcement for you after tip number 3. So make sure you don't go anywhere. All right. Because this is really, really exciting for us here at Plant Based Penny. So, tip number three is where we're going. So, what would tip number three be on those darn food cravings? And that is plan your meals ahead. Planning your meals ahead is or meal prep is going to lead to success. And so that is what we're talking about for our third tip. So did you know that if you plan your meal ahead of time, you're 50% more likely to make healthier food choices? Let me just tell you, for me, if I wait until I get hungry, then I don't know if I'm by myself, but if there's somebody else out there who's like me, just raise your hand, put a hand wave in or put me in the chat. That if I wait until I get hungry, then there is nothing safe. And don't let me go to a grocery store, okay? Because I just might make a poor choice. And so that is what happens with people. And I've seen that happen with my clients sometimes when they fall off the wagon, is because they did not plan. And you know what the 5 P's are: prior preparation prevents poor performance. Prior preparation prevents poor performance. And so we need to be prepared. And even me, I mean, because hey, I used to be a size 16 and hover between a 6 and an 8 now. And I have learned some things about myself in my making my mistakes and being able to learn from those mistakes. And that is that I have to plan ahead. So I even keep a snack bag. I mean, in my purse, I have a healthy snack, and it goes with me when I go out because Linda, I don't know if I might be delayed or I might stay out a little bit longer or stuff happens in our life, right? So I need to have something at my fingertips, whether it's a whole piece of fruit or it's nuts and raisins, something that I can just grab for a satiation effect to satisfy my tummy. Because if I do not prepare, then that will be an issue. So it's very important that we are prepared and prepared even with the snacks. So when you have a nutritious option readily available, you're less likely to reach for the processed snack. Remember, we talked about the whole aisles in the grocery store that are full of the processed snacks. So especially we reach for those in a moment of hunger. So you want to make sure you're prepared before you get to that point of being hungry. So spend time each week preparing the ingredients or even a full meal to set aside for your success. And one thing that I do is because sometimes I just really I don't feel like cooking. I just sometimes I just don't feel like cooking, and so like this week is one of those weeks I don't feel like cooking. So one of the things that I do is when I don't feel like cooking or I know that I'm gonna be late getting home or something like that, and time is of the essence, is when I do cook, I batch cook. So I will, if I'm making burgers or something, so instead of making those or burgers or patties, instead of making those 6 for the night, I'm making 16 or I'm making 24. And so that when I mess up the kitchen, because you got to clean it up every time you mess it up, when I do that, then it's like one big one big episode of cooking, and then I don't have to do it the next time that I want that delicious food, whatever it may be. So whatever it is, you batch cook it, freeze part of it, eat part of it, so that when you have those lazy days, which I have, then you don't have to worry about it. You can just pull it out, heat it up, and go. I mean, I'm all about keeping it simple. And so we want to swap out the processed foods gradually and embrace the rainbow and variety of the nutrients and the nutrient rich foods, planning our meals ahead of time. So the detoxifying our diet, it's all about making choices that are going to nourish our body and help our bodies break free of those addictive patterns. And so there is a quote that says that first we eat and then we do everything else. So we have to make our food choices count because we have to eat every day. So it is essential that every day that we're making food choices that count toward our health. So I do have the announcement for you. And the announcement is that I am happy to be speaking again. I've been booked to speak in Richmond, Virginia. For those of you who are in Richmond, come through. I'll be speaking at the Leading Ladies RVA conference in Richmond on January 28th, and I'm on the 3 p.m. panel. And I'm also setting up a vending table. I'll be giving free detox shots. We're gonna have a ball. We're gonna have fun. And so, if you are interested in attending, that information is on my Facebook and my Instagram pages. So check that out. It's also on my website, which is Plant Based Penny Life. My Instagram is Plant Based Penny Life. My Facebook is Plant Based Penny Life. And so you can also reach me at the email address at the bottom here, life@plantbasedpennylife.com. And I can assist and help you there as well. And also, uh, many of you may have already seen that I am speaking at the national conference for Black Girls Run. Black Girls Run is a national organization, and their national conference this year is going to be in Chicago. So that's later on this year. More information to come on that. But for right now, wish me well. And thank you so much for your attendance today. We're coming back next week with part 3 of our series, which is those darn food cravings and what to do about them. So part 3 is next week. Look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much for joining me, and let me know if you have any questions. And above all, God wants you to be in good health, even as your soul prospers. And Plant Based Penny wishes for you to look, live, and feel well. Talk with you later.